So, it's working sort of. All right, the internet is sort of working. If you saw my tweets, you know I'm having a little bit of issues with the internet right now. I don't know what it is. Where I live, sometimes the upload speeds are a problem. So, if this is kind of chopping in and out, you'll know why. So, sorry, there's nothing I could do right now. But this hopefully should be live on YouTube and Periscope. I'm not sure if the chat is working, so if somebody wants to throw up a comment from Periscope or whatnot, let's see. Maybe I'll put one. Let's see. I don't know if anything's working or not, so we're on. But what I wanted to talk about really is something I sort of brought up before today quickly, which is Trump the other day came out and talked about a bill of love. And everybody's kind of up in arms about this, about what does this mean? Does that mean that he's supporting amnesty? We know that amnesty doesn't work. Oh, okay, so it looks like it's working. Cool. So we got YouTube and Periscope comments in the video. Sweet. I keep locking up. Yeah, I know. I'm watching the Periscope feed right now. If the Periscope feed is messing up, check out the YouTube one. I'm not sure. Like I said, the internet has been acting up today for me, so that's what's going on. But anyway, so the bill of love, everybody thinks it's amnesty. You know, we know that was tried, that didn't work. Trump's base doesn't want amnesty. You know, and I can't speak for everybody, but what he campaigned on wasn't amnesty, right? So I don't think that that's what he's going to deliver. I think he is playing chess with them, for lack of a better way of explaining it. They're playing chess. So hopefully this stream will clear up a little bit, guys. I'm hoping that it will. But if not, like I said, we have it on YouTube as well. It's also on Periscope. It's on both. So anyway, let me see. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to make sure that if you guys wanted to call in so we could talk about this, that's going to work. That's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so the number's up on the screen, so we could talk about that. There's also some other things that came up today that I've noticed, which is Trump, you know, about how there's going to be, I believe it was 4,000 jobs in Alabama that are being created, and it's the car companies. I think it's Toyota, Mazda, and I cannot think of the other one off the top of my head, but they're bringing jobs to this country. So that's a good thing. I mean, that's what we need. We need more of that. And it looks like the Periscope stream is completely messing up. So I don't know how the YouTube one is. I don't know what's going on, guys. I'm sorry. Like I said, the internet's acting up. But the number's on there. We might have to just cut it because of the way that the internet is. It's really not going to make a whole lot of sense to keep it going if it doesn't work. But as you can see, there's issues. YouTube here with no problems. Okay, that's good news. Okay, so YouTube is cool, so we'll keep going then. So it's just Periscope. Go figure. So we got, right, so we're talking about the bill of love. We're talking about the jobs being brought back into the country. We're talking about, I mean, all of the things that he has done, and yet they still push all this fake nonsense out there. Now, it's like every day something better is happening, but every day you also hear them trying to pull. And when I say them, I'm talking about the left. I'm talking about all the people on TV, on all the mainstream media, Hollywood. De Niro just said something stupid. I mean, there's a lot of this going on. And unfortunately, the only thing that we can do is try to do what we're doing, which is spread the message. Hopefully, maybe we'll be able to change one person's mind, try to present the evidence. Now, you know, I don't present everything in such a loving way sometimes. Sometimes I say what I want to say because that's the way that it is. And unfortunately, a lot of these people on the left are so far gone that I don't really know what I could say to even bring them back, to be honest with you. But I think that the people who are not so far gone, right, you know, normal, not Trump derangement syndrome people, they could possibly be positively affected by talking about some of these things that aren't really being covered for the most part. You can find the coverage of it if you look for it, but most people don't care that much. You know, most people go home, they'll turn on the TV or they'll pick up a newspaper and they'll read a headline. Most people don't read the stories. Most people don't even pick up newspapers. It's very few. Everything's online. So let's just say TVs, because people watch TV. I don't, but people do. It's a very common thing. And everything across the TV is anti-Trump, just hysteria, and making this whole Russian collusion thing, making it up. And now all the evidence is coming out showing how it was a bought and paid for operation, which we knew the whole time. The Democrats went and shopped around and got all this fake information, and then everyone was colluding with each other, all the government agencies. We knew this. We knew that this was going on. But now there's actual evidence to come and prove it, because the Democrats, I think, were so arrogant that they thought that they would actually win the election, and then Hillary would come along and destroy the evidence just like she does with everything, like her 33,000 emails, or who knows what else. She loves to destroy evidence. Let's just put it like that. Anything that could implicate her in whether it's financial crimes or other ones, murder, whatever, she likes to erase the evidence from it. I mean, that's what a criminal does, right? I mean, that is what a criminal does. So they thought they were going to get in there and eliminate all this evidence so no one would ever see the light of day of it. And what's happening is it's coming out. All this is coming out. I mean, how could anybody who is rationally, can put together rational thoughts and logic, can look at what is coming out now and say, oh yeah, I still really love Hillary, or go. I mean, the only people that do that are the ones that are, like I say, are so far gone. So anyway, guys, feel free to give a ring, 772-405-7616. I'd love to hear from you. Hey, Sandra, I see your comment on there. I apologize, guys, for the Periscope stream. Without getting into too complicated, all of the services require their own things to be set a certain way. And I think that the settings for Periscope are a little off. So we're going to try to tweak that, hopefully, for the next one. I've been getting messages from the YouTube in the comments. Sorry about that, guys. This is somebody walking by. I've been getting messages from YouTube that it's working good. So there shouldn't be issues. There shouldn't be any issues there. So if you're on Periscope and you happen to be watching this and it's chopping up, just hop over to our YouTube channel, Patriot Media on YouTube, and you'll see that we're broadcasting live. You can hop in. It's the same stream. Vice versa, whatever. So again, guys, 772-405-7616. I'd like to hear from you. What you have to say about, the wall, how important the wall is, and why we need the wall, and that relationship to what Trump is saying with the Bill of Love, that he's trying to use this as a bargaining tool, I think, right, to try to get the wall built. I don't think he's actually going to come through on it, but I'd like to hear what you guys have to say, your opinion. So I know that, again, these audiences are not as big as Facebook. This is day 4 of my Facebook ban, but I'm going to consistently, as much as I can, come on and do these with YouTube and Periscope for the time being. So I'm not expecting a blizzard of people. Not everybody wants to call, and some people see it late. We get a lot of replay viewers. So that's that, because normally when I have all 3 of them combined, it's a lot more active. Our heavy presence, just for you guys watching on YouTube and Periscope, and I've mentioned it before, but our heaviest presence is on Facebook. Fortunately, unfortunately, I mean, it is what it is. They censor like crazy. They've banned me multiple times for 30 days, 7 days, this, that. I mean, just for mentioning the word transgender, they ban you. I mean, it's insane. And so this is what we're doing now, right? For the time being, we're trying to still get a hold of you guys, because this is what we normally do, but nobody from Facebook is watching unless they came over and watched it over here. So for the next 26 days, it's going to be Periscope and YouTube. We're also on Instagram too. I've been using Instagram Live just to sort of whatever lives, like if you just want to see whatever's going on or something quick. But most of our presence right now is going to be on Twitter, Periscope, and YouTube. Also, we're on Gab.ai. We're going to start using that more often. And the reason why is because of what is going to be coming out about Twitter and what is already coming out about Twitter. As we've seen from James O'Keefe, Project Veritas. And if you haven't seen that video, you need to go and see that video. This is the video that's talking about how the gentleman working for Twitter, undercover, of course, was recorded saying that they could that he would have no problem working with the Department of Justice to give him Trump's tweets that he deleted, his direct message tweets. And then this is just the beginning from what I'm understanding. What's actually going to be coming out is even a lot worse than that. So I'm curious to see what this is all about. I mean, I pretty much knew that when you join social media, you're signing it away anyway. I mean, because nobody reads the fine print on the stuff that you're agreeing to anyway, really. I mean, I don't, most people are just like, okay, agree. Like username, password, email, blah, 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 blah. Okay, terms of service, agree. Like nobody reads it. So who knows, we know that they're getting all the information, but I'm curious as to how deep it goes with Twitter and their intentions of how they use it, because now we're starting to see that some of this censorship that we know was going on, okay, that a lot of them have openly admitted that they're doing it, but now here's like how they're doing it and all the details. And to some degree we already know how they're doing it, but this should be very interesting. So I would keep my eye out for that. I don't know how many times I've used the term transgender on Facebook with nothing happening. Okay, well, it's not just the word transgender. It's when you refer to it as a mental illness. The simple phrase transgender is a mental illness will get you banned from Facebook for 30 days. It's happened to me now twice. And I don't see how that should be a bannable offense, considering the fact that when you look, the term for gender dysphoria is exactly what transgender is. There's many people much smarter than me that argue this point a lot better than I could. But at the simple term of it, it's somebody who is one gender or sex, whatever, because it's not, it is the same thing. I don't care what anyone says with the pronouns and all this. That basically like a boy would be a girl or a girl would be a boy or a man and a woman, whatever. You guys know what it is, right? So I'm saying that's what got me banned, basically, is pointing out the fact that it's a mental illness. So that's basically the story with that. And I have some of those posted. I think the screenshots posted. But see, it wasn't even, it was sharing a shirt, okay? It was sharing a shirt that I wore the other day that is a Patriot Media shirt that I just decided to whatever throw together and see, why not? And so it says transgender, your mental illness, not mine. So that's what it said. And the shirt got shared onto Facebook and boom, took me on for 30 days. So so that's what happened. So here we are. This is what we're doing. And I just wanted to come on and highlight a few things that I could. I didn't even think I was going to be able to do this tonight. So I wasn't as prepared as I normally would be, because when I started checking it earlier, I didn't want to put out the message saying that I wouldn't be able to go live until I knew for sure that it wasn't going to happen. And then out of nowhere, it just started working to some degree. As you can see, the Periscope is still acting up. But because it started working, I said, okay, great, let me at least hop on, because I told him I would, and I told him I would throw the phone number up. And I also said that if anybody wanted to call about other things that we've talked about, they could also call. And, any of the other topics or things, something you would like to talk about. But if we don't, let's see. I'm wondering exactly how long I've been on here, because it doesn't say. But I should have looked. Oh, well, doesn't really matter. I can just hang out. But it seems like I'm having a little bit of trouble on the Periscope here. Anyway, so the jobs, okay? The Bundy's getting, that's huge stuff. I haven't heard enough about that, to be honest with you. I have not heard enough about that, and I think I haven't even talked about it as enough as I probably should, but I should emphasize how big of a deal that is. The fact that that everything's dismissed, and the fact that they found it, that it was, what was the term that they used? Not an overreach, but they misused their power anyway. So from my understanding is that you would think sometimes they might try to charge for something else, for whatever. But the reason why the case was dismissed, just so everybody knows, they can never be tried on anything from that incident ever again, even if it's another charge. So that is how significant this is, because we all knew that if you had, look, even if you don't know all the details or anything, once you understand the general idea of what the issue is here and how the government was trying to basically just steal, and Obama and the Obama appointed judges, how they handled the situation, and even the police that were sent out and that killed Lavoy Finicum, right? I mean, you can go on and on this story. There's so many things, but the fact that the charges were dismissed, and now to the degree at which they were dismissed, they can't even be tried for anything else regarding that situation, is a big win. And I don't know if people, if that's been stressed enough, and people have really talked about that enough. Because that's a big deal. I mean, it sort of came out and we knew, and it sort of went through, and that was it. It was sort of gone. I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about it, but that's a big deal. That's a big deal because that's a precedence now. I mean, before it was the other way. It was negative. It was the government showing that they were going to try to do this, and if this would have went through, if this would have actually come to some sort of guilty verdict and then a sentencing and all of this, that would have set the precedence for the government to do it again and again and again and again. And so the fact that this one was handled this way, something like this will never happen again, probably for a good period of time, because it's clear as day now what happened. I mean, when you look at it, we knew, but what can you do when you have people who are, in the tank with Obama, who was trying to destroy this country? So it is not a mental illness. Okay, well, it is. No, Sachs Productions on YouTube. I'm just seeing this now. By the way, they are called hermaphrodites. It is defined as someone who born with both male and female parts. Okay, first of all, to that, what you're saying, first of all, people who are born with male and female parts is a completely different case, and that is also, you're talking about a small minority of people, like super small minority of people around the world. Okay, that is not what we're talking about. We are talking about someone who is born with male parts, perfect male parts, nothing wrong with them, right? Let's even say that they might have an extra large male part, just to prove the point, okay? And then they say, well, you know what? I want to identify as a woman because I feel like a woman, even though genetically I'm a man, even though I have the extra large male parts, right? Just for you. I want to become a woman and I want to chop it off. And because of that, then you have to recognize me as a woman. What? Does that make any sense at all? So you have to pump yourself full of hormones to even maintain the level of your identity. You can't do it naturally because it's not natural. So that classifies as a mental disorder. Okay, I really don't think that screwing with your body, your body's genetics in such a way is healthy. I don't see how it could be healthy. And not only that, the suicide rate of transgender is through the roof. And most of the people who actually go through a full transgender operation, a very high percentage of them regret ever doing it in the first place. So therefore, there is a lot of mental illness associated with it. And they're not getting whatever, because they think this is what's going to fix them. And the argument is that if I accept them as who they identify as, then all their problems will go away. That is not true at all. And every single statistic that can be pulled shows that actually, they have some of the highest rates of anything across the board. Over 50% regret the decision. Yeah, there you go. It's not a usual occurrence, a hermaphrodite. So that's the same type of liberal thing that they would do where they'll try to justify abortion by saying, well, what about people who are raped? Again, the percentage of people who are raped to go and get an abortion is like slim to none compared to all of the other abortions that take place. That's what they always try to do. People who stick up for these democratic left-wing talking points, they'll always take the minority situation and try to use that to justify to the larger population. And it's exactly what they're trying to do here with this transgender. I won't be surprised if I get banned for this one, but since you brought it up, we'll talk about it. It is a small percentage of the population, and you saw businesses instituting, anybody can use whatever bathroom they want, and their stocks tanked. Okay, people don't want this. Okay, the only people who want this are the people who are looked at as somebody in society, Hollywood, all the elites. Okay, Los Angeles for the most part, all the elites and Hollywood people that live there that basically disseminate their garbage to the rest of the world. This is who is pushing this, because people don't want this. People say, okay, you want to do it and you want to whatever, and that makes you happy, and this is going to improve your quality of life, then go for it. But don't expect me to accept it, right? Don't expect me to accept it. And when I mean accept it, accept the fact that like I have to look at you as the opposite sex that you were born from because you think you're the other one, and even though you might have done some, or whatever, I'm saying that no. Like, no. Sorry. Not going to happen. People don't understand if you were born as a man or a woman, then you would die as a man or a woman. Case closed. Where are your vetted facts on any of these issues? Well, they're actually available. I don't have the names of the studies, but I've looked them over. I could find them and post them. But there's a lot of information about this. All you really have to do is just type in Google, transgender suicide rate, and boom, you can see the study right there and the percentage. I don't recall what it is. I look at a lot of things per day. This is something I looked at a while ago, probably a number of months back. But nobody can deny that because that's the statistics, because that's not the argument. Right? Their argument is, oh, it's all emotional appeal, which is what the left does. The left doesn't actually ever come with facts. And if they do come with facts, they're not real facts, they're like assumed, right? Where the Democrats saying, oh, 86 million people's taxes are going to be raised. Okay, explain that to me. Explain to me how their taxes are going to be raised when the taxes are actually going down. They are going to go back to the rate that they are now as the plan sits at some point, but they're not going up. So explain to me exactly how the taxes are being raised. Most people across this country are going to see a huge benefit from all this, and they already have, with employers giving them extra money just for the sake of it because of the tax thing, because they can afford to do it now. They're not being, taxed to death. 2 genders, 2 sexes, that's right. Over 1.6 billion for a wall. Yes, I have a problem with it when he vets on the streets and the VA hospital system, meaning they are hiring illegal doctors. Okay, well, first of all, the VA system was a mess, and that's what he walked into. So as it's being cleaned up, I don't know about that particular subject. I would have to look up on that. 1.6 billion for a wall. Well, that goes in with another subject, with this NAFTA, which he has made very clear that we will pull out of NAFTA if it can't be renegotiated. If that happens, believe me when I tell you, Mexico will end up reimbursing for that wall by force because they will have no choice. They're not going to sign over a check from the government and say, here you are, Mr. President Trump. Not going to happen. We all know that's not going to happen, and I will agree with you on that. However, when they're put in an economical problem because all of the companies that are now building up Mexico City, which has been going on for a long time, no longer in effect or it's canceled, all that money that they just invested in Mexico is pretty much done, and they're going to turn around and invest it right back into the United States because that's where the products are coming. They're making the products there for cheaper. They're sending them across the border with no tax and then charging the American people, and that money is going back to other countries. That's how it works. Like, nothing is made here really anymore. So I think you need to understand what is going to happen here. It's not just about them signing a check. Hundreds of billions in aid to Israel to build a wall is more a worry. Not really, because they already have the wall that they need. I mean, it's been built and it works very well. It works extremely well. Some of you guys may have just been tuning in to me for the first time or whatever, but I lived in Israel for 7 months. And I can tell you that it is extremely safe. You're safer in there than at Baltimore, in Baltimore, Maryland. I can assure you that. You're much safer in Israel than you are in Chicago. That I can assure you. I mean, that the wall that they have in Israel has prevented people that should not be coming in because they're violent and want to kill people out. And it's kept a lot of weapons out, and it's kept a lot of just terrorists in general out, because that's the people who are trying to come in that way. They need to have that because it needs to be high security because of the craziness the people that try to do over there. it's actually quite insane. I mean, when you live there, you live within distance of running to be able to go to a bomb shelter because you got these radical Islamic terrorists over just launching rockets over at Israel like it's some kind of game, like, oh, let's see what we can hit and just shoot rockets for fun. It's stupid. So we need to have a wall at the southern border for sure. There's no question. For different reasons, though. For different reasons and similar reasons as well. We can't have people coming across that we don't even know who they are, basically. I mean, because people know that this is a weak point, and they're coming from all over the world. These aren't just Mexicans. These aren't just Mexicans. A lot of people from south of Mexico and a lot of people from all around the world that know, hey, we can go get in here and then whoop, and just sneak right in through the border. And once they're here, you've got the Democrats trying to say, yes, more of you come, please. More of you come and jump through the border illegally and come here. And guess what? If you can do all of that, we're going to give you all this stuff for free. Just come to California, guys. We'll take care of you. You'll have to work for literally nothing and live like 10 and 15 to a house to be able to afford anything, because we're going to pay you next to nothing to do all of the work that we don't want to do, but we have all the millions. But come on, guys, come on. It's freedom here. You have freedom. It's America, and you'll have everything you need. You'll have food. You'll have a place to live. You'll have what more could you need? That's their pitch. That is their pitch. That is what they do. They're trying to welcome that. And then when you factor in the Islamic factor, that's a whole nother thing. That is a whole nother problem. I mean, they are becoming the second largest religion in the United States. Islam is becoming the second largest religion in the United States. To me, that's kind of scary. A little bit, that's a little scary, because a lot of these people who are coming here do not agree with our ideology. And let's say it's even a small percent of them, like 1%, okay? Even if it's 1%. Out of the thousands and thousands and thousands of people that we have let in over the Obama years and over a bunch of years, we don't know when the next thing is going to pop off. And it's been going on that way. I mentioned it in a stream before. Look at all of the things that have been committed by people who even came here legally, or were a son or daughter from someone who came here illegally and brought their, twisted ideology here and are unable to assimilate to a Western society. That's what we're dealing with. We should just annex Mexico. That's a funny one. That was a good one, actually. I like that one. So I'm just looking to see what you guys have. So it doesn't really look like we're getting a whole lot of activity on the calls tonight. And a lot of this, again, guys, is because we're building up the Periscope and YouTube platform for more lives. The primary place for our live videos was always the Facebook page, Patriot Media. And so that's where we get a little bit more activity from. In another 26 days, we'll be back on there, and I'm hoping to be able to help build these up, so that way, if this ever happens again, we'll be able to hop on and do what we're doing now. So look at what's happening in Germany and France. Yeah, that's exactly right. It sounds like a game show. But anyway, guys, also scrolling across the bottom is where all of our social media is, where you can actually follow us. And if you like what we're trying to do, if you like what we're doing here at Patriot Media, head on over to patreon.com/Patriot Media. And, you could throw us whatever you like as a tip to try to help us expand and grow, and so that we could kind of really take this to the next level. And so I could spend a little more time doing this regularly, because I don't get enough time to be able to do it. And I really am trying to make more time, because this is what I really like doing. I really like doing this, and I think that there's a lot of things that we could do that just require more time and money, and that's the truth. So as we grow, it's all thanks to you guys who watch this stuff and share it and like what we're doing. All the people who are commenting and tapping the hearts and hitting the thumbs up on YouTube and all that. So with that, guys, I'm going to head off for the night, and we will talk soon. Take it easy.